And my question has to do with what is your position about all aboard Florida, especially since I think Delray probably has the most to lose with 2,000 units, residential units on the tracks, and there have been some 47,000 petitions that were signed, in addition to 40 towns that also passed resolutions objecting to all aboard Florida. However, our commission has been silent, and Delray has been silent about this. And this is like the elephant sitting in the room, because that's some serious business, that if those trains come rumbling through our streets 24/7, and if the real
That was pretty good time.
How appropriate. How did you schedule it?
if you could respond to that, I would appreciate it, especially you, Bruce, since you're involved.
Please use the microphones.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the question. I'm assuming everybody heard it regarding position on all aboard Florida. That's it's an interesting topic, because if you peel back the onion on that opportunity, it's a really bad one. It's a bad one for the city. It's a bad one for the state. I've been around a lot of private equity firms in my life, and that smells, looks, and is a private equity deal owned by Fortress.
Yeah.
And they've creatively divided that whole chunk up so that we get the residue if it all goes belly up. And that residue really is all nothing more than streetcars, and we get the platforms. That does us no good. We don't get the tracks, but they get the upgraded tracks. So, for me, in that current situation for all aboard Florida, I don't like the deal. I think it's a bad deal. I think we need to work with the governor to really strike out a great deal with FEC, the east and the west side tracks. With that said, I would love to see an intercity connecting commuter train so we can connect these cities, and it would do wonders for our community. And if we could take the freight and move it out west, perfect. And we got to be able to work with the governor. We got to be able to work with the county. We got to be able to work with all interested parties to pull them together and to be able to make that happen. Because that is what's great for Florida, right? Not the fact that they want this high-speed train, because in the end, that's what they get. We can roll the dice, right, and say, man, because I hear it. I hear a lot of people saying, well, we got to get this conversation going. We got to do it. If it fails, it fails, but we got to start somewhere. Again, I'll go back to the private equity thing. I just think it's set up to fail. I do think the interconnector economies will help it a lot better than Tri-Rail is now. But in the history, trains have never been a profitable business. Does that mean we shouldn't do it? No, I think a coastal link would be awesome. I fear the high-speed train. I think that scares the hell out of me. But I don't like the opportunity for increased freight. It's their tracks. We can't stop the increased freight. We give them that capability, who's to stop it, right? So we've got to be cautious about that. So I hope that answers your question.
When we started hearing these rumblings about all aboard Florida, I wanted to learn about it, because it sounded, on the face, it sounds really neat. High-speed trains. Who didn't like putting together trains as a kid? It sounds exciting. So I went and met with the groups to I wanted to learn more. So I actually took the time to meet with a group called Not All Aboard Florida that was behind trying to stop this train. And I wanted to know why they wanted to stop this train. Then I went and at the chamber, as a member of the chamber, the All Aboard Florida people came and talked, and I listened to them. After looking at both, I started looking online and seeing what this Fortress company was about and what their true intentions were. And that's when I came to a commission meeting and spoke out. Because it's one thing about sitting home and saying, I wish they would do that or not do that. But we have to take a stand as residents occasionally. We have to show up to commission meetings, and we have to tell our commissioners what we want. And I've done that time and time again, and sometimes I get up there and and we'll see the mayor's face up. What's he going to do this time? Because I'm not afraid to stand by my neighbors. I'm not allowed to stand up for children in my community that need that help. And that's what I did with All Aboard Florida, and I'm disappointed that the commission has not taken a stand. I really am. Only Vice Mayor Petrolia was the only person that said during the commissioner comments that we need to take a stand, and it never got to an agenda so that we could at least vote and say, now is a resolution going to stop All Aboard Florida? Probably not. But at least as a community, we can tell them with this resolution that we are not behind you. We have taken a stand, and we want you to relook at this. And then that's something that goes to the governor, and said maybe the governor might pause, and he probably sees as many stories on the news about Delray Beach as the rest of us, right? And say, well, if one of the fastest growing, exciting cities in the state has said no to this, maybe I should pause and take a look at it. But we haven't done anything. And by just sitting back, we're going to have these 50, 100, I don't know, whatever trains coming through. And like Bruce alluded to, that's the carrot that they're waving in front of us is these high-speed trains. They think that that's going to sell us on it. But what they really control is freight. And I'm sure you all know that the Panama Canal is being expanded. The amount of freight that's going to be able to come up the East Coast is going to multiply. And where is that freight going to go? It's got to go somewhere. We know that. But do you want it through our downtown? I live west of 95, and I'm still saying I'd rather have the freight by me because I know it doesn't make any sense because I want to be able to bring my children downtown. And we have to stand up, and we have to take pause. We have to actually take action. We have to be doers, not just talk about it. We've got to do things, and that's what I think the city needs to do is take a stand, and maybe it will cause pause for somebody in a higher position to say, why are they taking that stand? Maybe we should look at this. So who knows?
Let's get down to facts. 24 extra trains a day is 2 trains an hour. We already have the freight downtown. We haven't been able to change that. The All Aboard Florida is a done deal. What we have the opportunity, and we've had the opportunity for months now, we haven't done it. Mitch, you're absolutely right, we haven't done it. The city commission has not decided, well, this is going to happen, so we better protect our city because we have the most to lose in the city. We have that train going right through Atlantic Avenue, which has 2 million visitors a year, conservatively. 2 million visitors a year on Atlantic Avenue, including you and I 20 times a week. But we stand to lose the most, and we're not doing anything. We didn't write a letter to All Aboard Florida saying, we are going to be impacted. We need the quiet crossings, which we got. We got that because other people wanted it and other people worked for it. We need to have protective barriers. We need to have grates that pop out of the ground. None of this little arm when we have children and families and us walking downtown. The little arm doesn't do anything. We need grates coming out of the ground to protect our pedestrians, our cars, and we have the most crossings also. I think we have 12 crossings, which is huge. Very expensive to do this. Are we going to have to pay for all that now because we haven't voiced our opinion, because we haven't asked for it from All Aboard Florida? All Aboard Florida wants this to work. I know Bruce thinks it's not a big deal, and I respect him. He's the money guy. But this is a done deal. We have to work with it to get what we need. And if we wait much longer, it's going to be too late. They're already starting to build Miami. They've already assembled the land in Fort Lauderdale, and they're already building in Orlando. This is happening. We need to act now to protect our city.
Not only has there appeared to be overwhelming opposition by residents in Delray Beach, but in various municipalities throughout the state, there seems to be overwhelming opposition to it. And for the position that I would take on this would simply be a no-brainer, based upon what I've indicated with regard, to me, trying to do what's in the best interest of our residents. One frightening aspect, that I've always, felt was the case with this is that the safety factor. You have lives that could be lost as a result of fire rescue vehicles, needing to get through, and it can't go through over or around it. And of course, we have enough trains as it is. You know, it seems as though every time I'm in a hurry, it's either Amtrak or you know, Tri-Rail or one of these trains with look like 25 or 30, you know, cars with it. It seems, yeah, we have enough problems as it is with the trains we have to deal with now, you know. So I don't think that, you know, I know that I would not be in favor of this. But I think that the only way that, you know, it's going to be halted is for the individuals in leadership positions in the various municipalities and cities throughout the state to band together and just take a strong stand against it. If in fact that doesn't happen, if that it's not, you know, I guess maybe unity of purpose, sameness of purpose, with regard to the various governmental entities statewide, if there is no, I guess maybe solidarity of purpose, sameness of purpose, with regard to the various municipalities throughout the entire state, it's going to be a losing, you know, endeavor for us, and of course it's going to happen. So I would be overwhelmingly, you know, against it, simply by virtue of the fact that there's overwhelming opposition to it as far as the individuals, you know, whom I'm speaking for, is concerned.